Pilar Sanders' emotional confession about life after Deion Sanders sends fans into shock. For years, Pilar Sanders has lived in the shadows of a story that once captivated the nation. A love story turned public battleground between her and NFL legend turned college football icon, Deion Coach Prime Sanders. But this fall, as Deion continues to command headlines at Colorado, it's Pilar's voice, soft yet resolute, that's capturing the attention of America once again. In an exclusive interview that aired late Friday night, Pilar opened up about her life after Deion, the emotional scars that fame left behind, and the lessons she's learned from living outside the glow of prime time. The confession wasn't rehearsed, and it wasn't filtered through a PR lens. It was raw, vulnerable, and human. "I had to rebuild myself," Pilar said, pausing between words that seemed to weigh a ton. "For a long time, people only knew me as Deion's ex-wife. I lost who I was. I forgot what peace even felt like." The moment those words hit the airwaves, social media exploded. Fans who had followed the Sanders family saga for over a decade flooded platforms with mixed emotions. Empathy, surprise, even shock. For the first time in years, Pilar wasn't just a footnote in Deion's larger-than-life story. She was her own headline. A decade after prime time. It's been more than a decade since Deion and Pilar Sanders finalized their divorce. A separation that played out as loudly as their once flamboyant marriage. From lavish red carpets to reality TV, the couple embodied the early 2000s celebrity sports power duo. They were beautiful, rich, and unapologetically bold. Deion, the Hall of Famer with unmatched charisma, and Pilar, the model-turned-actress whose elegance perfectly complemented his flash. Together, they were prime-time personified football royalty with Hollywood sparkle. But the breakup was brutal. Court battles, custody disputes, and endless tabloid speculation transformed a once golden couple into public adversaries. At one point, their split became one of the most talked-about divorces in American sports culture. "I didn't realize how much the public owned our story," Pilar reflected during her emotional sit-down. "It wasn't just our marriage ending. It was a performance for the world. Everyone had an opinion. Everyone thought they knew us. But no one really did." For Pilar, those years were not just a media storm, they were survival. Behind the headlines, she says, were quiet nights of prayer, therapy sessions that felt like confessions, and a spiritual battle to reclaim her identity. Finding Pilar again. When Deion reinvented himself as Coach Prime, leading Jackson State to national prominence and later revitalizing Colorado football, Pilar's name occasionally resurfaced in media circles. Yet, her voice remained absent. Now, in 2025, that silence has been broken. "People think time heals everything," she said, her tone steady but heavy. "It doesn't. What heals you is truth. Facing it, owning it, forgiving it, that's how you move forward." Her confession came during an hour-long feature titled Life After Prime, produced by a Los Angeles media outlet known for human interest documentaries. Pilar sat in a minimalist studio. No makeup excess, no bright lights, no entourage. Just her and her story. She spoke about raising her children in the public eye, the emotional toll of being labeled, and the process of rediscovering her purpose outside fame. "There were days I didn't want to leave the house," she admitted, "because every time I did, someone reminded me of who I used to be, not who I was trying to become." The feature instantly went viral. Within hours, Pilar Sanders was trending across X, formerly Twitter, with hashtags like #LifeAfterPrime and #PilarSpeaks dominating social media timelines. Fans react. "She deserves to be heard." The reaction was swift and emotional. ESPN's coverage drew over 3 million interactions within the first 12 hours. Some fans praised Pilar for her vulnerability. Others questioned her timing, noting that Deion's Colorado Buffaloes were in the middle of a crucial mid-season stretch. "Respect to Pilar," one fan wrote on Instagram. For years, she was painted as the villain. Maybe now we finally see her side. Another post read, "This isn't about fame, it's about healing. Everyone deserves their voice." But not all comments were sympathetic. "Why now?" asked a user on X. "Deion's out here inspiring kids and changing lives. Feels like she's chasing the spotlight again." Still, the dominant sentiment leaned toward empathy. For the first time, public perception seemed to shift, not to pit Pilar against Deion, but to recognize the emotional cost of living life in the glare of prime time. Deion Sanders' quiet response. When reporters asked Deion about Pilar's comments during his weekly Colorado press conference, the coach prime everyone knows, confident, quotable, and laser-focused, took a moment before answering. "I'll always wish her the best," Deion said softly, almost under his breath. "We shared a lot of life together. What matters most to me is that our kids are doing great. That's what I focus on. Family, even when life changes." It was the kind of understated answer that revealed more in its restraint than its words. Deion, who has become a cultural force beyond football, didn't deflect or criticize. Instead, he did what he's done all season, lead by example. Still, those close to him say Pilar's interview hit home. "He's been through a lot personally," said one Colorado staffer who spoke on condition of anonymity. "Behind all the confidence and energy, Deion's a human being. He's a father first. When people talk about his family, it's personal." The shadow of fame. Few couples in sports history have had their private lives dissected like Deion and Pilar Sanders. When their marriage fell apart, it wasn't just a tabloid story. It became a case study in how fame magnifies both success and pain. "Fame doesn't destroy people," Pilar said during her interview. "It exposes them. It shows what's real and what's not." Her confession revealed years of emotional exhaustion. She described the pressure to appear perfect while struggling behind closed doors, the weight of judgment, and the loneliness that came after losing both love and privacy. "I used to think attention meant love," she said quietly, "but it's not. Love doesn't need an audience." Those words resonated deeply with many women online, particularly those who had followed Pilar's story from her early modeling days to her turbulent divorce years. "I felt that in my soul," one TikTok user wrote. "She's speaking for every woman who's ever had to rebuild after public heartbreak." The Sanders legacy continues. While Pilar's confession drew waves of empathy, it also reignited curiosity about the Sanders family dynamic. Their children, Shedeur, Shiloh, and Deandra, have each built public personas of their own. Shedeur, now a rising NFL quarterback, often credits both his parents for his mindset and faith. Shiloh, known for his charisma and grit, has mentioned his mother in interviews with quiet respect. "Mom taught me resilience," Shiloh said earlier this year. "She's a fighter. I get that from her." Behind the scenes, Pilar has remained close with her children, even as they've built lives around their father's football universe. Her confession, in many ways, wasn't an attack on Deion. It was a reflection of a shared past and a journey toward peace. "I want people to know," she said tearfully. "I've forgiven, not because I forget, but because holding on hurts more." A nation listening. In a time when sports news is dominated by transfers, stats, and playoff predictions, Pilar's story broke through the noise. ESPN's follow-up coverage framed it as a rare window into the personal cost of public greatness. "She wasn't bitter," said one ESPN anchor during Saturday's broadcast. "She was brave, and that's why it resonated." By Sunday morning, celebrities and athletes weighed in. Former NFL stars sent messages of support. Journalists praised her transparency. Even pop culture icons reposted clips from the interview, calling it a moment of truth in a world of performance. But perhaps the most powerful reaction came from within the Sanders fan base itself. those who have followed Deion's evolution from Hall of Famer to cultural icon. She reminded us that behind Coach Prime's greatness is a story of real people, real love, and real pain. Wrote one fan in an ESPN comment section. This is the part of the Sanders legacy we never got to see.